Okay, maybe now we can talk about like the latest happenings around together with Caleb and see what he thinks. So Caleb, you have seen recently Razer is giving out free free mask, right? I think
Yep, I
that's
saw
gone
that. I read that.
viral. Yeah.
Yep.
So what do you think about that?
I think it's a very smart tactic, right? So it's always, in marketing, we always want to leverage on the situation. And so if Razer gave out free mask 2 months ago, everybody say, that's retarded, that's stupid. Right? But they're giving out at a time where we need. And so not all of us are going to use Razer Pay, right? But probably because we are Singaporeans, Razer knows that to get that free mask, we probably would end up using Razer. I mean, honestly, I would as well. Right? I
Yeah.
mean, until of course I know that I'm giving my data away. But that is actually a really smart thing to do. And I might end up giving out my data for that
Yeah.
mask.
So for those who don't know what Caleb is talking about giving his data away, so there was a clause for signing up to get the free mask. You need to sign up for Razer Pay app and then register an account. That was what he was talking about. Yeah.
Yep. And according to Razer, how they justify to collect your data in exchange for the mask is because they say this is to prevent fraud, right? They cannot be just freely giving out masks and then more people may try to collect more than the limited amount that each person is supposed to collect. So since they're not able to access everybody's NRIC, right? So they only have their Razer app to be able to verify you, and then you can then collect the mask through the vending machines.
Yeah, and that's a genius idea because in marketing we always talk about cost per lead, right? So when you do advertising, sometimes you can pay $1 for a lead, sometimes you can pay $10 a lead, sometimes you can pay $100 to $200 per lead, 500 even. But now Razer is the cost per lead is just a mask, right? So that's just
Yeah.
genius, right?
Yeah.
If only I could do something like
His
that.
marketing cost is much lesser than even Grab.
Yeah,
Grab spends so
yeah,
much money to acquire customers for their Grab Pay, but now he's just exchanging for one piece of mask.
yeah,
Yeah, so it basically boils down to the person itself, the individual, you, me, him, or her. If you are willing to give up our personal data or exchange those personal data required to sign up for the app in exchange for receiving a free mask. So if we are comfortable with that, right, that we also may even assume that in future Razer is going to do some marketing activities, like maybe emails or notifications. But in exchange to get the free mask, if we are comfortable giving up our personal information, then by all means. So yeah, I also agree that it's a smart move.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I mean,
there's
the
a
worst
lot
that
of
can happen is I just unsubscribe when they start sending me emails, right?
Correct. So
no,
again,
it's not
yeah,
so simple actually. So there's a lot of misconception. People are thinking, they're just gonna give me my I'm just gonna give them my data, my name, my email. But it's not so simple. A lot of people don't forget you need to key in your password to register an
Right.
account. And so what happens to that password? You're gonna use the same password as your Facebook, as your Twitter, as your everything. So now maybe Andy, you can bring up one of the article. There's this like recently there's 11 companies stolen data being flooded on the Darknet. So we can show you the list of companies being flooded on the internet now. And that's what happens. When you don't care, you just use the same password across all accounts. This is
okay.
what happens.
Would you like me to show it on my screen as well?
Yeah, just bring it up and show it. Then for those who are listening on our podcast and not watching our video on YouTube, you can see the link on the show notes. It's called 11 Companies Stolen Data Floods the Darknet by Hacker Group. Yeah.
Okay, I share my screen. So this is our article describing the 11 companies. So their stolen data was released on the Darknet, okay, by a hacker group.
Yeah, so you can see Microsoft, Tokopedia. I think there's I'm not sure whether there's a list. Yeah, you see there's a list here of company names there. So you can see Tokopedia is probably the most famous here in Asia. The rest not so famous in our Asia region. The rest is all mostly all the US people that will actually know this.
Yeah, to be honest,
Companies.
I don't even know most of the names here other than Tokopedia and one or two other.
Yeah.
I don't know any.
Tokopedia is very popular, bro. They are like the Lazada of Indonesia.
Yeah.
So it's a giant e-commerce group.
More and 91 million records. I know this was big news because it was posted everywhere. Yeah.
So Caleb, do you use the same password? Are you gonna use the same password when you register for the Razer app? Your username and password is gonna be available online.
Then I guess not, but I'll just end up putting one password. Right? I don't think I'll ever use Razer.
Okay,
Probably
that's
won't log in ever
a
again.
precaution. Yeah. So again, what Dexter say is actually correct. and all listeners should pay attention to this, is that for every single account that you have, do not use the same password. Okay, make sure you use different passwords across different accounts, because in case, okay, any website or platform that you have an account on and the database is breached and the hackers manage to grab hold of your password, okay, they'll definitely try to use the same password. And since they also know your email, they'll try on other platforms. And in case any platforms that you have use the same email and password, that's when, okay,
Yeah.
a breach will
Especially if
happen.
you don't have if you don't have 2FA,
Yep.
they're just gonna go inside and see all your stuff, your
I don't have
email
2FA.
accounts, everything. Yeah, you better enable Caleb if you don't have any 2FA on your accounts.
Only my SingPass has 2FA because they forced me.
Yeah.
And
For
the
those who
banks.
don't know what 2FA is actually two-factor authentication. So actually what it does is it makes sure it verifies with your phone, maybe through a SMS or through a PIN code, to make sure you are the person trying to sign in. Yeah. That's what two-factor authentication is. 2FA.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when hackers also gain access to account, not only will they try to play around, play a fool in your account, try to scam other people, try to fish, okay, maybe even try to, if there's any credit card linked in your account, you try to buy stuff, okay, on your behalf, sent to themselves. But then also, when they can lock you off your account, right? So you get a lot of trouble and hassle to try to get back your account. And you
Yeah.
can see over here in the table, okay, that for the 91 million user records for Tokopedia, the hacker group, okay, that is posting it is just only charging a $5,000 USD, right? $5,000 price to get access to 91 million, okay, individual personal data and
Yeah.
passwords.
I'll
So
buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
5,000
hackers, I mean, not even hackers, even marketers are gonna buy this and then just for the email. Whereas for the hackers, what they're gonna do is they're gonna try to take your account and try to log in all your other accounts. If you have a Bitcoin wallet or even a exchange account where it's using the same email and password, yeah, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna go in and then try to take your money out. Yeah.
Yep. And it's so straightforward and simple nowadays. Okay, no more manual process to manually go to a website, key in an email and password. Okay, there are automated scripts that hackers have that they automatically populate out the top few hundred websites that most individuals would have, social
Yeah.
medias, okay, email, websites, so on and so forth. And then when they gain access to your email and your password, the script, okay, will automatically run and input all your details into the websites to see which one will go through, right? So it's all
Yeah.
automated. They start this
Correct.
script, they come back in a few hours, they'll know who are the guys that are already compromised. So it's very, very simple actually.
So a lot of misconceptions out there. They like a lot of these aunties in the market or even normal employees, they will just think like, hey, I'm nobody. Why would a hacker come and hack me? They don't need to choose you to hack you. What they do is they just go and find this kind of big companies database that is leaked out there, and they will just go and try and lock in your all accounts all across, everywhere. So maybe there's also like even companies like Samsung now, there's new update that they finally fix a vulnerability on all Samsung devices. Maybe Andy, you can put that out also. So there's
Yep.
this called zero click vulnerability impacting all Samsung phones since 2014. Yeah. So if you have a Samsung phone, you're a listener on our podcast, please go and make sure you update or tell your friends and family, your grandmother, if she's using Samsung, please help her update her device. Yeah.
Dexter, you mean there's this vulnerability already existing since 2014 and only now then you know about
Only
this?
now then they fix it. No, I mean, I think they knew it for some time, but they took some time to fix it. Yeah, correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Caleb, are you
So
using a Samsung phone?
Nope.
I'm using Samsung phone. Yeah, but so if you guys want to know, you all can just same thing is all in the show notes, and you can follow us on our newsletter, and then you'll always get the latest cybersecurity updates on what you need to update. Yeah, because it's not easy to find what you need to update in actually Asia. We did our research in Asia. There's not many websites that is focusing on this, or even in Singapore, we're probably the only one. So you can just follow us, and we will be giving you all these tips and advice for free. You can also just subscribe to our podcast.
Yep. And
Yeah,
let's also touch on business email impersonation. Okay, working from home, because you know now during the COVID period, businesses have to shut down. Only the essential ones can continue working, right? So those all the other businesses, okay, they have to send their workers to work from home, and then so this is when you do not meet your colleagues on a regular basis. Okay, everything is done remotely through online means. So sometimes people may not know if an email or let's say someone contact you is actually who they say you are. So there's business email impersonation on the rise. So Dexter, maybe you can share a little bit more.
Yeah. So nowadays it's so easy to spoof another person's email. So if you guys actually want to test, you guys can contact us. We can do a free email spoof trial and show you how we can send an email from your own email to you, and we can take a screenshot and show it to you. We can do that live for you guys as well. Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
very
I think
easy
so.
nowadays. There's a lot of companies. They will spoof their supplier and then send it to the customer and then ask the customer to make a payment. And then a lot of times, a lot of customers that came to us, they said that, oh, there's this fake invoice sent from this, but they say that it's not from them.
Wow.
This company. So example, maybe some events company supplier, they supplied some stuff for the event, but it didn't come from the event supplier. They gave a $5,000 invoice. They went to transfer to Hong Kong. Yeah. So once the money leaves Singapore, the police it's not gonna do anything because they say it's out of their jurisdiction. It's too hard for them to kind of try to recover $5,000 for you. Yeah. These are the
It
things
become a
that's
case
happening
study.
nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
already not making money, no revenue coming in during this COVID period. Still go and accidentally send out a few $1,000s. It's gonna be a real pain. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, and let's also touch on the next topic. Okay, on Xiaomi mobile devices. Just now we talk about Samsung. Now we're going to talk about Xiaomi. Okay, all Xiaomi mobile owners, okay, should urgently update their Xiaomi devices. Okay, Dexter, can you share with us why?
Yeah, so recently there was a lot of complaints about the Xiaomi's browser is actually not really in incognito mode. It's actually still recording its data and it's being uploaded to some servers in Xiaomi. Sending, I think if I'm not wrong, I cannot remember properly. It's sending your data to somewhere in China. Yeah, some
Okay.
servers in China. So they quickly come out with a patch and then make sure the incognito mode is no longer sending those data. No more data collection. Yeah.
I see.
And
Okay.
Xiaomi is definitely not the only one collecting your data. There's a lot of your devices, even your laptops out there are collecting your data silently. Yeah. So try not to do too many private stuff on your devices. Yeah.
Or rather, what private stuff that you want to do, please do it on a separate device.
Don't
That's not.
even yeah. So the rule of thumb is anything that you want to be private, don't even have the device connected to the internet. The moment it's connected to the internet, is a big cybersecurity issue. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And one.
Right. So that's why a lot of the government agencies like SAF,
Yeah.
they don't allow people.
Yeah. A lot of
They
them
don't allow
doing it's
Wi-Fi
called
in their camp.
yeah, and it's called air gapping. So air gapping means they disconnect their computers from the internet and make it a separate network altogether. So
Right.
that it's
Right.
not linked. Yeah. So that
I
hackers from
remember that. Yeah.
outside can't be accessing your device or even vulnerable devices. Yeah.
I remember the news coming out during that time. When they're saying that all the government agencies would stop, having access to the internet. And I was just wondering why. I thought it was a bad move. Okay, now I see. I see the big picture. I understand why they did that.
It's actually the fastest move and the cheapest way to be secure is to unplug everything from the internet and then slowly fix it back and connect slowly back to internet one by one on those that is needing internet.
Yeah, and also you
Got it.
have heard of the word intranet. So basically, it's
Yeah.
internal network. Yeah, between the
Yeah.
computers in the office or in the environment. So the organization can connect to each other's computers, or rather a shared directory or shared drive, right? So you still can access data. But when every computer cannot connect to internet, that's when external threats will not be able to happen. But also, actually, even the government sector, or even in the SAF, right, Singapore Armed Forces, so there'll be at least one computer, okay, that they'll designate this to be able to connect to the internet. But this computer will not be connected to the rest of the network or the rest of the computers. So this is one way they use to secure themselves.
Right.
Okay, one final article we'll touch on regarding recent news, okay, will be Zoom. There was a big hoo-ha, right? Because of the COVID period, within just a few days' notice, all businesses had to stop, employees have to work from home, schools have to be shut down, but education and training still needs to go on. So students have to study from home. And one of the easiest tools and convenient tools will be Zoom. So you guys will have probably heard on the news and saw that a lot of Zoom sessions were hijacked. There were a lot of disastrous incidents whereby
MOE.
perpetrators came in, while young students were taking a class, right? And then perpetrators came in and started flashing, certain parts of the
Pornography.
body. Yeah, all this was very disruptive to the learning. So Dexter would like to share a little bit more on how.
Yeah. So what we will recommend is actually this Jitsi Meet. You can actually go to this article at the bottom of our show notes again. So you can actually go there. You don't even need to download any software. No accounts needed, and it is open source. So there's actually a lot of cybersecurity people who actually run through the code. There's nothing that is sending your data somewhere like Zoom is sending to some Russia and China servers out there for all your Zoom sessions. So there isn't somewhere that is recording your session and uploading your data somewhere. So this is actually what we will recommend as for now. It will, technology is ever changing. There will always be new changes, but this work from home tip, we would recommend this. There's no accounts needed, so there's no data loss. You don't need any password. You don't need to put an email there. Just type the room name, put in a password, give the link to your friend, and ask them to join. Yeah, it's as easy as that.
I've also been using Jitsi more recently than so. It's very convenient. To create a room, you just go to your URL bar in your browser, key in meet.jit.c/any name that you want. Instantly, the room is created. And it has a lot of functions similar to Zoom as well. You can set a password, right? You can set a virtual background. You can record the session, so on and so forth. And it's also open source. So that means anyone can grab the code from them and then we'll be able to customize or improve on it as well.
Yeah. And for those who are more tech savvy, they actually have the code and let you even host it on your own Linux server. You can even go DigitalOcean, buy a $5 a month server, and it will be secure because that server is owned by you and that you know that it's not being stored somewhere else. Yeah, if you are a cybersecurity enthusiast, that would be our recommendation. And yeah, that's about it on Jitsi. Yeah.
Okay, so we have covered quite a number of recent privacy-based news. Okay, in this coming section, we'll talk about some free tips by both Caleb and some free tips by us, Privacy Ninja. Okay, on how businesses or how the individual can benefit while working from home. So to kick off, Caleb, would like to give us maybe 2 or 3 free tips that our listeners can leverage on during this period.
Yep, I'd be happy to. So the first free tip that I would give would be, as I shared quite a bit just now, would be to really go and identify what your users are searching for, what your prospects are searching for, right? So once you get an idea of what they're searching for, go and use Uber Suggest, right? We'll put it in the show notes as well. Uber Suggest and keywords everywhere to see if people are actually searching for these terms, find out what these numbers are and whether you should go for it. So once you identify these keywords, next go and download Yoast SEO, right? It's a WordPress plugin. I think many of us website owners would already have downloaded that. We may not be sure what to do with it, right? But what you want to do is you want to come up with your meta text, right? So there'll be your title descriptions and your title text. Your title, your title and your description, right? So if you don't tell Google specifically what to put for you, Google will choose random content on your website and put it up. So you won't be in control of what you rank for, right? So you want to get that done. You want to get your meta text done. And then you want to look at the speed of your website as well. So this is something else that you can do. If you don't have a big budget, something simple you can do is just go in and find some simple plugins that you can use to manage your cache and to optimize your image, right? So once you get that done, your website is a bit more user friendly. What you want to do is you want to build some links, right? How you can build a backlink is when we talk about building links, we're talking about backlinks. So backlinks are basically a link on another website that points to yours, right? So this is how, again, going back to the start where we talked about how Google ranks websites, right? The way they do it of all the millions of websites, the way they know which website is best is based on backlinks. And backlinks are basically recommendations from another website to yours, right? So it's like a vote of confidence because your content is good. I want to link to you. So if you have more of these backlinks, Google will rank you higher, right? So how can we get these backlinks? Because as a small business, nobody's going to talk about us, right? My company Genia, yes, I do get some free backlinks here and there from different companies who recommend my stuff. But even for as a lawyer, as a chiropractor, as a tuition center, nobody's going to link to you, right? We're not that interesting, right? We're not that big. Nobody cares about us. So we have to get these backlinks on our own. And some simple way to get it would be through blog commenting. Right? I know some people say that it doesn't work anymore. It still does. So if you go to a relevant blog, right, comment something good, add some value to the post, you can add a link back to yourself. There's one way you can get these backlinks. You can reach out to your network. So, for example, Privacy Ninja and myself, there is some relationship in what we do. In fact, we're going to launch a service together, right? So what we can do is we can link to each other in these articles. When we talk about internet marketing, bringing us more leads, and because of that, we'll have to look after our data, right? And I can link this data to Privacy Ninja, and so that will give them some value in terms of Google ranking, and then they can rank back to me, right? So if you're in the healthcare niche, look at your fellow practitioners, right? Is there a way for you guys to complement each other? So there you can exchange some links. And again, within your industry, within your network, I'm sure you'll be able to find people where you can outreach to them and say, hey, can I write an article for you? Or can I put my link in an article of yours? I'm sure, now in this time, especially business owners are looking to help each other. We want to work together. We don't need to have anything in return, right? We just want to be able to give. So I'm sure you'll be able to find somebody where you can give a link to them or you can get a link from them, right? So again, just to recap, identify what your people are, your target market is searching for, right? Do some very basic on-page SEO, get your speed, make your speed a little faster, and then just go around, find people that try to get a link back from them, because that will help, right? Boost your authority and your presence in Google. So this is just a very broad, just overview, just some quick tips that you can do. Of course, SEO is much more in-depth than that. So again, you can go down to the link and you can on our website we give a lot of information in our articles about how you can really work on your own internet marketing, right? More than just SEO. So over there you can check out more information.
Okay, thank you so much, Caleb.